Yo, what's going on, guys? It's in Pro Mode here. Today's video I'm going to show you guys best OBS settings for streaming and also recording. So this is only for if you're streaming on the one computer, not two computers, and it's a different video altogether. So what you want to do is go to File, Settings. Now when you load up this page here, the first thing you want to do is go to Stream. Make sure you got all this connected. You normally connect automatically through your Twitch account, as it's recommended. Once you've done that, so don't really need much for that part. Next, you want to go to Output. So your video bitrate, I keep my video bitrate on 6000. Anything above 6000 is gonna probably affect your gameplay as well as your stream. So I recommend anything from 6000 and below. So anything from 4000 and above is perfect. So bitrate, the video bitrate only is your up speed. So if you have really good up speed, then you can go higher. But if you have an average up speed of say anything between 10 megabytes to 20 megabytes, you're best to have it 6000 or anything below 6000 to get it to be good. So for encoder, I use software X264. If you have a NVIDIA card, you want to use their encoder for their software, their video encoder, because that's probably one of the best ones to use. But if your graphics card don't have its own encoder, or if it does, I wouldn't recommend to use the AMD one. I would suggest you use your CPU, which this is the encoder for my CPU. And then your audio bitrate, I leave mine at 160. Don't really need to mess around. You don't need to really mess around with this either. So encoder preset, I use a so enable advanced encoder settings. For my encoder preset, I use very fast. So say if you have it on slower, this means, so if you have it on slower, it uses more of your CPU, but if you have it on ultra or the fastest setting, it uses less CPU, which I'm still quite confused about why it does that. So basically, if you want to use the advanced encoder settings, you can, but I would test it and see what it's like for you. I wouldn't suggest like to straight away use these. Output mode, I use simple output mode. Audio, I use simple rate. I use channel stereo. And then with this, if you have a mixer, you can select your mixer. So my desktop audio is my default, which is through my headphones. Then my microphone is of course my Blue Snowball microphone, which I use on a daily basis, of course. Meter, fast, like none of these settings really matter unless you're using hotkeys, but I don't use hotkeys. Then video settings, I use 1920, so my base resolution of my actual screen of my game is 1920 times 1080, and then my output scale is 1280 times 720. And then if you have my custom FPS is 60. If you're not affiliated, I would suggest just to use 30 FPS, because if